Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. My name's Leah and today I thought I'd bring you a bit of a different video. I wanted to give you an update on my Mounjaro journey. So you may have noticed I did a couple of videos where I put together my TikTok videos into one and I uploaded them. I did week 1, week 2. I thought it'd be probably better to come and chat to you just face to face like this and do a completely different video just for you guys. So I thought I would tell you about why I decided to choose Mounjaro and what led me to that, what side effects and how it's affected me, my progress up to date, and then kind of any other bits really. I thought it would be just a little chit chat, and if you don't know what Mounjaro is, I'll explain all that in a minute. So why did I choose to use Mounjaro? For me, I was considering weight loss surgery. So how this all came about was my daughter kept asking me to go to Alton Towers and I kept saying, I can't, darling, I'm too fat to get on the rides. And it was actually breaking my heart because I kept saying, no, I can't do that. And I don't ever really want to say no to things like that, to having fun with my children. Absolutely not. So it was one of the reasons I was thinking about it. And I had kind of considered going back on Weight Watchers or Slimming World or something like that. And I was like, really, I really need to just get rid of the weight for good. So I was looking into gastric surgery because my friend had just had very successful gastric surgery. So I was having a look into it and I was like, this is just so permanent. This is so drastic that I don't know if I really want to do it. I've always been really, really scared of the surgery. So fast forward a little bit more, I was thinking about it a bit more, and me and Em were talking about Mounjaro. I'd seen a friend who was having amazing successes on Mounjaro, and it wasn't something I'd considered before, mainly because I'm completely terrified of injections. I mean, I have got the fear, and I just thought, do you know what? It obviously is okay. I'm going to do some research. So we researched into it. We had to look at loads of different things like side effects, and we looked at other creators on TikTok, on YouTube, and just really did our research, as well as looking into research elsewhere and articles and stuff like that. And we decided that actually it might be a really good way to go. We looked into if we could get it on the NHS. It's just not possible. Even though I have been diagnosed as pre-diabetic previously, it's not possible for me. So we did our research and then we went on holiday to Tenerife, and it was awful. The plane seats were so uncomfortable. I was bruised. It was just horrendous. I was in so much pain. So I figured that I was going to have to do this as soon as possible. Like, I knew that something had to be done. I do not want to be uncomfortable ever again. So as soon as we got back, we both decided we were going to do Mounjaro together, and we ordered our pens and we used a specific provider that made it about 120 for the month's medication. So we chose our provider, we did our research, and Emma's really good at research. So we did all of that, and the injection arrived. And you'll see in that first week video, I do talk about that. I do show it arriving. I talk about what comes in that parcel. And then that night, I didn't want to wait. I just wanted to get it done. So it was a Tuesday, and now I just weigh on Tuesdays. I weighed in the morning, and then I took the injection in the evening, and my wife did the injection. For 20 minutes, I was sobbing, I was crying, I was so scared of the injection. And obviously when she did it, when I finally obviously got over it and she'd done it, I realised that actually it didn't really hurt. I wasn't ready to do it myself, but you know, at that point I realised it didn't really hurt, and I probably wasn't to be too worried and anxious. Anyway, that was why we did it. So what were the effects? And what is Mounjaro? I suppose that's really important. So Mounjaro is a GLP-1 medication. It is a medication that levels out your glucose levels. It acts as like a way to get past insulin resistance, because sometimes that is something that people struggle with. It also reduces that craving noise, that food noise, that thinking of food constantly. It reduces that because your glucose levels have reduced and you are in that much better sort of level of satiety. You know, you're satiated by that leveling. And it was interesting because I thought, how can this possibly work? I didn't really believe it. So the night that I took the medication, immediately I felt thirsty. As soon as I'd taken it, I felt thirsty. I was like, oh my God, I'm so thirsty, I'm parched. So I started drinking water, which is fantastic because you do need to drink water on this medication. And then the next day when I woke up, because I took it at night time, scared that I might have side effects, didn't really feel anything apart from thirsty. Woke up the next day and I was like, I feel exactly the same. I was expecting this kind of big, explosion of feeling. Nothing changed. But I woke up in the morning and I went downstairs and I did my routine. And then I realised I've not thought about breakfast. Where that would have been always been my first thought when I wake up, as soon as I open my eyes. I hadn't really thought about it. And I just kept thinking, maybe I'm just not hungry this morning. Like maybe I'm okay and I'm just not hungry. So I was walking around and I thought, do I fancy anything? Should I eat something? And it was like, after you've had a really big meal and you go into the shops and you think, I just don't want anything, and you just really don't want to buy any food. It was that feeling. It wasn't feeling full. It was more the mental side of it for me. I was like, I just don't fancy that. I don't feel hungry. So it was about 10:30, which is abnormal for me, that I decided I really should eat something. So I had some toast. And although you meant to have protein first, I just fancied toast. So I had toast with cottage cheese. So I just went about my day and I just kept thinking, it's so quiet. Why is it so quiet? And then I realised that I wasn't having food noise. Not only was I not having food noise, I was having like complete calm. And where my mind is consistently racing all day, every day, I've got ADHD, and it just felt quiet. And I think that was really, really odd. So the next couple of days just went kind of by, and I just kept thinking, this is really like a really odd feeling. I've never felt like this. It's so freeing. I feel like I've been trapped in a food prison and now I'm not there. And all of a sudden I thought, you know what? The weight loss is like not the thing that I'm excited about. I'm enjoying this feeling of freedom and focus and clarity and quietness and calmness. It's never been like that before. And I didn't realise until it had all gone that it had never been like that before. So, the first week I weighed in at 23 stone and 2 pounds. Bear in mind, I just got back off holiday. I'd just been on a plane, of a flight, and I was retaining a lot of water and I'd eaten a lot. It was all inclusive. So I probably did put on quite a lot of weight before I went, but I didn't weigh myself. So I weighed in at 23 stone 2, and I was like, wow, this is the heaviest I've ever been. That's a very big heavy weight, especially for 5'2.5" little me. I was like, that is actually quite bad. Like I'm kidding myself if I think that is okay to continue on that way. So the following week, after I'd taken my first jab, which was 2.5 milligrams, by the way, because everybody starts on that, I'd lost 10 pounds. And I was like, hold on, that doesn't sound right. 10 pounds, that's a lot. And I was like, this is just wild. I've never lost 10 pounds ever in my life. It was just wild. So I was okay with that, and I knew it was water weight, and I knew that I'd just come back off holiday, and I knew all those things. So I knew that really it was all the water retention. I've been drinking a lot of water. But the other thing that I didn't know is that a GLP-1 medication is anti-inflammatory, and that's its big, one of the main things that it does. It's anti-inflammatory, and therefore I wasn't as inflamed. Now I know that sounds absolutely bizarre, but you suddenly realise that inflammation that is associated with weight gain is actually quite considerable. And having something that's anti-inflammatory is just groundbreaking. The other thing I've noticed, so I've now been on the medication for 10 weeks, and in that time I've lost 32 pounds in 10 weeks, which is an average of 3.2 pounds a week, which is incredible. My requirement for this was to lose around £1 a week, preferably 2, but £1 was absolutely fine. So the fact that I am surpassing that has been wonderful. I got interrupted by the door. I apologise. Anyway, so I have now lost an incredible 32 pounds in 10 weeks. And in terms of how this has affected me, I've had barely any side effects. In week 3, I hadn't really been looking after my gut. So in week 3, I actually had terrible tummy ache, like the worst tummy ache I've ever had. And it was just wind, bloating, constipation. It was bad. And that is a side effect of this medication. However, I managed it. I managed to take a magnesium oxide supplement that helped with flushing me out, which was really, really gentle. And I would recommend it to everybody if you need it. But I also started taking, after that, pre and probiotics every single day. And that has been excellent. Like, that has been the reason that my stomach has been fine ever since. I've also since moved up. After 7 weeks, I moved up to 5 milligrams. I felt that 2.5 had run its course. I wasn't losing very much. And also, it is only the titration dose. So it goes up in 2.5. So you start from 2.5, then you go up to 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, and then 15. And that's the highest dose in the UK that you can have. So you can dose up every 4 weeks, and that was the recommended dosing up from the pharmacies. I'll talk about that in a minute, actually. However, you can just stay on a dose if it's working for you. So I've now been on 5 milligrams for 4 weeks. It's still working okay. I've been losing every week. I'm on it for another 4 weeks. I'm going to just try and eke it out for the next 4 weeks before I go up to 7.5. Because the thing is, when you get to 15, there's nowhere else to go. So, I think it's important to kind of try and work through each of the doses as slow as you can. So, in terms of Mounjaro and where you get it from, I use an online pharmacy. I wasn't able to get it from the NHS because I just do not qualify for it in the NHS. They are reluctant to give it out. It's quite expensive to them, I think, but privately it costs between about 110 to 180, dependent on the dose. I get mine now from a pharmacy called MedExpress, and they do a referral scheme, which is really good. I have found them to be really, really, really excellent, and they have been the most affordable for me and for Em because we're doing it together. So for that, it's been really easy. I have to say, I just have really enjoyed this journey so much. Online pharmacies will ask you questions to make sure you are eligible, but they'll also ask you for photographs to make sure you're eligible. And there's not really any way that you can cheat, because you do have to take a photo of you full length at the size that you are. And you also have to take a photo of your scales, and you have to show the date, the same date written down. So it'd be quite difficult to get that incorrect. The other thing about this medication, and I mentioned it just a minute ago, is it is anti-inflammatory, and I'm on asthma medication, and I haven't needed my asthma pump the whole time I've done this in the last 10 weeks, not even once. So it's helping with that. Not only is it helping with the weight loss, it's helping with that. There's a lot of misconceptions about Mounjaro. Number one is that the side effects are terrifying. Well, they're not, because I got worse side effects from antibiotics in the last week than I have from Mounjaro. I think everybody's different and everybody's reaction to the drug is different and everybody's predispositions are also different. So it's one of those things you just got to be mindful. You do have to do what they tell you. Like, you do still have to eat, even if it's hard. You've got to find a way to get calories in. You do need to drink water, and you've got to drink 2 to 3 litres at least every day. And when they say water, they mean fluids. You know, if you want to drink sugar-free squash, do that. And then you do also need to put protein first. So there are rules that you have to stick to. Calorie deficit is obviously the easiest way in which you can control that. There is, you know, if you stay within your calorie deficit, you will lose weight. That is a fact, scientific fact. It does make it a lot easier because you haven't got the cravings in between. So you're finding you're eating your meals. Well, I certainly am. Some people haven't been able to, but we're eating our meals at the correct time. For a lot of people that are experiencing side effects, or one of the side effects is suppression, food suppression. For those people, it is a challenge to eat. So some of them are using meal replacement or protein shakes just to get something in. Personally, that hasn't happened for me. So me and Em are on this at the same time. I've mentioned that her side effects are so different to mine. So she does have suppression, but she has had food noise more than I have. I've not had food noise at all, but I have never had suppression. I've definitely felt satisfied while I've been eating and been able to stop, but I've not had what people are mainly looking for, which is suppression. Now, suppression is a bad thing. You need the satisfying thing, because suppression, if you're chasing that, when that goes, it's going to be a struggle. Because what we have to remember is we're not going to be on this. Well, you can be on it forever, but you're probably going to come off this medication at some point. And because of that, you want to be able to learn the signs of feeling hungry and also learning the signs of feeling satisfied. Like, I still have a lot of energy. I do exercise and I do eat, you know, really a low amount of calories. So I'm eating enough for me. I'm not eating like under 1,000, probably around 1,600 calories a day, which is absolutely fine. So where am I going from here? So for the next 4 weeks and over Christmas, obviously, I will be continuing on my 5 milligram dose. I am doing that till the end of the year. Literally, my last dose is on the 31st of December, sorry. And then I'm going to just see how I feel before I order my next pen. I want to just see if I want to go up to 7.5 or not. I just need to be sure. Hormones have played a big factor though. Like, if you're hormonal, sometimes you just feel hungrier, like you would anyway. You know, like when you get your hormonal like hunger, that still happens. So it isn't messing with anything like that. So you will expect to sometimes get food noise back or not have any satiety at all. So it's been really interesting to learn about. It's been really interesting to be on this journey, to have all these different things going on. I think at the moment though, there's a lot of fear mongering when it comes to this medication. I think because it's an injection, right? If you said it was a magic weight loss drink, you drink it without even hesitation and nobody would have any issues about it. I think people just see injection and think it's a bad thing. It's just a different way of getting something inside you, isn't it? And obviously a quicker way. The injection does not hurt. So after 4 weeks of my wife doing my jab, I ended up just biting the bullet and doing it myself because I knew it didn't hurt. So I just had to do it. I do the injection in my thigh. There are 3 areas you can do it. You can do it at the top of your thighs where the, like, flabby bits are. You can do your tummy, or you can do your upper arm at the back here. I've only ever done my thigh. I know some people say moving the injection site, that will have an impact, but I don't think it will. I find for me, a lot of people find they'll do the jab, the next day they will feel the jab, right? They'll know that it's working. It takes a couple of days for me for it to kick in, but then it lasts the rest of the week, which is kind of good. I do weigh on a Tuesday morning and I take my jab now on a Tuesday afternoon because my side effects, they just don't kick in. My side effects have been, though, on this 5 milligrams, is tiredness just after I've had it. So the night and the night after, the night of the jab and the night after, I do feel really tired. I feel quite fatigued. But after that, everything just kind of is fine. So that is where we are. I'm absolutely loving Mounjaro. It is the best decision I've ever made. I love the feeling. I love how it's still allowing me to lose weight in what I believe is a healthy way, because it's quite slow. Not slow. It's not slow at all. I don't know why I'm saying that. It's less rapid is what I mean compared to gastric weight loss, because gastric weight loss, like, you're on liquids for a while, aren't you? I think I would have really struggled with that and the surgery. I think it's one of those, it's a very, very, very last resort if this doesn't work. But I have every faith in the fact that it will work. I'm happy to answer any comments in the comments below. I will keep comments on. I would love to talk to you about it, and where I can help, I will. But obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a health expert. I'm just somebody on the journey that has learnt a few bits on the way that I can share with you. But I will always advise, speak to your medical practitioner ahead of anybody on the internet. Side note, there are a lot of people trying to sell the medication cheaper, and they are using medication that is illegal. If you are looking for a reputable pharmacy, there is a website called www.monj.co.uk in the UK that gives you all of the reputable pharmacies and gives you a price comparison. They also compare Wegovy as well, I think, Wegovy prices. So if you're looking for that, you can go there. They update it all the time so that they have the cheapest price for you. It is honestly, it's a brilliant place. It's great for finding out information. If a pharmacy is not on there, or a website, or an aesthetics clinic, which they are, it's illegal for them to sell it, by the way, please don't buy it, because I have seen some people on TikTok using a medication that is not the Eli Lilly one. And when you go to the privacy policy, it says it is not for human consumption. And people are taking it without reading that privacy policy, without reading the terms and conditions, which also state that it's not for human consumption. It is non-human use only. I would be very, very concerned if that is the case. Please do check. If you are one of those people that are using one of those sites, then please be careful, especially, you know, knowing that you might be getting it for 40 quid cheaper. It's just not enough to risk your life over. So I'm going to leave this here. It's quite a long video. And I just wanted to bring you this update. I will do another update at like my next goal, which is I want to lose 44 pounds altogether by my 44th birthday, which is like 6 weeks away. So I'm currently 12 pounds away. So I've got to lose 2 pounds a week. Oh my God. I'm 2 pounds a week away from my next goal. So I will let you know how that goes. If you do want to ask anything, if you don't want to ask it in the comments and you want to just contact me privately, you can grab me on the.leah.way on TikTok. I'll happily answer any questions. I'll also put my MedExpress referral code in the comments, because it gets you £40 off your order, your first order. There will be 2 codes there. You can use mine or you can use Emma's, whoever's you want to use at the time. It's up to you. Maybe recommend whatever. You get your own code and then you get £40 credit whenever anybody uses that code. I hope this has helped. It definitely is the most amazing thing I've ever done. So if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to leave a comment, please do. If you'd like to subscribe, I'm always here somewhere. Please do subscribe. Take care.